Good morning, Twin Cities of Adam. I'm Jack Tomczak. That is the Andrew Lee.
Good morning. Happy Tuesday, everybody.
Happy Tuesday to you and yours. The show, of course, produced by Lump.
Good morning.
On the show today at 7:30, we'll talk with Greg Orman, author of the book, A Declaration of Independence, How We Can Break the Two-Party Stranglehold and Restore the American Dream. And a guy who ran as an independent in Kansas, a U.S. Senate race in 2014 against incumbent Pat Roberts, and did really well. So well that the Democrats dropped their candidate out.
Really?
Yeah. No joke, this guy. From Mankato, and smart guy, went to Princeton.
Ooh.
Yes.
Ooh.
Fancy.
I wonder if he knows Pete Hegseth. He went to Princeton, too.
They all know each other.
You go to the U? You know Mike? Yes. Then at 8 o'clock, had an email a few days ago, last week, I think, from a Trump supporter who said that we need to hear the other side. So I said, sure, why not?
Other side of...
We're a little too anti-Trump, apparently.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. People get so emotionally invested in their candidates that the moment you criticize a candidate, like legitimately criticize a candidate, you just hate him. Like, we can't talk about Trump and actually criticize anything he says or does without people freaking out and sending us nasty emails. You're way too emotionally invested. We've said a number of the times on this show, both of us have said, we're far more comfortable with Trump than we are Hillary Clinton as president. We both have things about him we don't particularly like. He's said some things we don't particularly agree with. But all of that is thrown out the window the moment you start criticizing him. Oh, I'm sick of it. All you do is bash Trump. Like, just grow up.
So because
accept some criticism.
That is the theme of the show.
Grow up.
And because there is absolutely no barrier to getting on the AM radio, I invited that listener on, and I gave him backup because that Andrew can get like that. So I thought he might need some help.
Andrew gets a little stabby.
David Belford is coming in as well. And then I learned that Bob Anderson, the guy coming in, is the same Bob Anderson who ran against Michelle Bachmann in 2008 and 2010 when I worked for Michelle. So Bob Anderson does not need any backup. He's run for Congress a couple times before, but I think it'll be fun. And, of course, we'll talk about the Orlando shooting woven throughout all of this, I'm sure.
I hope it'll be fun.
Of course, it's always fun. We make things fun. Who's in the NBA Finals?
The Golden State Warriors and the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Okay. There was a time I could have told you the starting lineup of the Chicago Bulls in all 6 of their Michael Jordan championship runs.
Right.
And where they all went to college. I could not tell you. Who are the teams?
The Golden State Warriors and the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Chris Mullins, okay. High and tight, that guy's hairdo.
Wow, that's a callback.
That's the only one I've ever known. As far as I know, Golden State is one of the teams in California that isn't the Lakers.
That is accurate.
And
that is correct. Cleveland is one of the teams in Cleveland that is only the team in...
And I think LeBron James is on that team, but that is it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the finals are over or if not, what game we're in, but I was listening to the sports radio on the way in.
Game 5 was last night.
And I was so like, I don't know a thing about the NBA anymore.
Yeah. I don't follow it nearly as much as I used to. I used to follow it pretty rapidly.
Yeah.
It helped when I lived in Orlando and we had a home team, and that was at a time when Orlando was very good. It was the Shaq and Penny time.
Yeah, Penny Hardaway still playing?
Nope. Anthony Hardaway does not play anymore.
Anthony. That was going to be my boy's name. Anthony. So he can go his whole life being, no, not Anthony, Anthony.
Anthony.
Because that makes sense.
Put the emphasis in the middle.
Yeah. How about we just call you Petty? How about you call me Anthony?
And that was during the era when Jordan was out.
Yeah.
When he left basketball and went and played baseball for a little while. So Orlando was one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference. They played in the finals a couple times, had a really good rivalry with the Indiana Pacers at the time. So it was an exciting time.
And then Michael Jordan came back.
And
everything went back to normal.
Right. The world was right again. Although Orlando, I will say, did knock the Bulls out of the playoffs. The first year that Jordan came back. Was it? Yeah, I think it was the first year
where he came back. Like the last 3 weeks of the season or something like that.
Yeah,
and they're like, well, I guess you can play your Michael Jordan.
Right. So, I followed basketball a lot closer then. I have a tough time following it now. And there's no particular reason.
Yeah.
There's too many games.
Yeah.
There's too many games. And I say this, I have the same criticism about baseball, too. I love baseball, and I love going to baseball games. It's one of my favorite things to do. It doesn't even matter how the Twins are doing. I enjoy going and watching a game. I think it's a great stadium. It's a nice stadium. It's a very fun activity to do.
You can do amazing things with taxpayer dollars.
Even when the Twins are sucking, it's still fun to go to a baseball game. But there's just, I think, both the basketball and baseball seasons would really benefit, or the leagues would benefit by
a 16-game regular season?
Well, maybe not. A little more than 16.
No, every game matters.
But compressing the season, making it shorter, making every game feel a lot more important, and fewer teams. I mean, honestly, if you look at basketball, the Eastern Conference of the NBA is an absolute joke compared to the Western Conference. Like, all the good teams are in the Western Conference. Probably the top 4 or 5 teams in the Western Conference could beat the Cleveland Cavaliers in the finals. There's too many teams. I think the talent pool is spread a little thin. And if you look at attendance of some of these games and some of these markets, that backs it up. So attendance is way down.
Manute Bol still playing?
I don't believe so.
Spud Webb?
I mean, not like professionally.
Okay.
I'm sure recreationally.
Horace Grant?
Probably recreationally.
Okay.
Picks up the ball from time to time. Shoots it in some hoops.
This is such a weird
Throws
conversation.
it towards the basketball ring.
In the basketball ring. Hope Larry Bird's back is getting better. We need him back on the court.
I think you guys should stick to news talk.
Let's do that.
I think you should just pipe down in there and mind your own business.
You're on my list, young lady.
I'm the producer of the show. I
I'll
actually
let you
have
pipe
an
down for a
input.
couple weeks.
You focus on the podcast and not letting felons on there.
We're focused on save as. All right, boss man, let's get back to the news and the talk and the news talk.
There's a coffee shop in Minneapolis that doesn't want the business of Donald Trump supporters.
Huh?